Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii with Real Broker, and I can tell my voice is doing
I was going to say,
here.
you want me to do the talking too?
Yeah, I've had a long day, but Lance is here with LUVA, and he is going to be giving you guys your May West Hawaii real estate update. Yes, I am losing my voice, I think so. So I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of lead
prayers
this.
have come true.
He gets to lead it. But you know what, though? Let's have a beer.
All right, let's have a beer. Let's do that.
That'll make everything better. Okay, we're having Fat Tire.
Oh.
It seems to be a little muffed up here.
I did not shake them before I came in.
Clearly you did. This is Lance's contribution to the experience today.
Yep.
Here, you can use this. This is okay. I can wash it later. You okay? Here you go.
Well,
okay.
I'll spill all of my pants anyway.
Okay. We're going to cut this part out of the YouTube experience.
No, we're good. Fat Tire's our sponsor today, you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Whether they know it or not, they're today's sponsor.
Yeah. But these days we're going to be taking freaking donations too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say that when Lance came in, I'm like, I have to believe that the median price of a home in West Hawaii has dropped a little bit because we've had a very lull experience. And so he gave me the numbers, but we're also going to talk a little bit about what is going on with the dynamic of what's happening in the spring market.
Yeah.
So
we're going to get beyond the black and white numbers.
Right. It's not just about the numbers. We're going to tell you about what the heck is really going on.
What's going on.
So,
all right.
What you got?
So we're just going to jump in the black and white numbers right off the bat. Median home price, number of homes sold in Kailua-Kona went down 12% this in April.
There we go.
I don't know how many of you guys saw, because last month I didn't have the full quarter report, but the first quarter of this year, I kind of, you know me, when I see these bait and switch headlines, it kind of ticks me off a little bit. So I went and jumped in and did some homework. So there was those bait click headlines said, worst quarter since 2009 was the headlines, right?
Okay, yeah.
A few weeks
and that was
ago.
that national news.
That was national news, right?
Okay.
I'm like, no bullshit. But so I went in and I ran the numbers, right? And so I ran 2008, 2009, 2024, 2025. Best quarter we've had in any of those 4 years. So it's
was this last year? So January, February, March this year were the best quarters
we've had compared to 25, compared to 2009, like this article said, and 2008. So it was better than all of those.
Oh, okay.
Not combined. I almost said that, but not combined. But it was better than all those significantly.
Yeah. So 2008 sucked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2009 was worse, actually.
Oh yeah, because we started really going into the recession.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just having a slowdown.
Yeah.
A market correction.
So yeah. So what we're going to jump into is actually April did actually drop enough, and we're going to look at the year to date as of including now April.
There we go.
Because the quarter was
we're in
on
May.
fire.
Okay, so April, now in May, we're mid-May, so it's starting to do...
No, but this is through April numbers. So
right.
I did the first quarter.
Right. Okay, so this is April numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay, but we're also going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the market in early May.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. In medium sales price, that's the one we didn't do condos. Residential home sales down 12.5%. Condominium sales down 53%.
Whoa! I told you it was coming.
Huge. Yeah, that's a big drop.
Yeah.
It's a big drop.
Big drop. Okay, let's see how that correlates with money, though.
How does that correlate with money? Residential home sales, median price a year ago in April was 1.15, and this year it was 1.275. So we're up $125,000 in home sales. So we're up
year over year,
10.8%, and we were down 12.5% in the number sales. So actually the price went up in homes and down in the number sold.
Okay.
Condos, median price $547, where it was $775 last year. So that is a 29% drop in the median price. But you and I both know that $550 was really kind of been the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's a lot of condos are going for $550. Yeah.
So we had a few months of it bouncing up. So it was real numbers, but by the seat of our pants, to be back at that 547 number is not bad at all. Mm-hmm. Let's talk year to date while we're here, right?
Okay,
we're here.
That's like the real numbers almost.
That's the real numbers, yeah. So year to date, last year, this time of at the end of April, Year to date, the median price was 1.35 million. And as of this April, the median price is 1.35 million.
There you go. So
taking the
flat
first
market.
4 months of the year, so the first third of the year, we are sitting flat with what we were a year ago.
There you go.
So,
And if you guys remember, the Fed actually wanted this to happen.
yeah.
Right? Just make the market
Flat
just chill
now.
out.
So we'll
Okay.
see how that works out.
I don't know if you were expecting 50% drop in condo prices, though.
Well, let's go year to date.
Okay.
And
Not
again,
prices, I mean
so
sales.
we're going to get into that in a minute, but because we did have that big drop in the condo prices last month, the year to date a year ago was 682,500, and it's 672 this year. So that's a 1.5% drop.
Okay, which is like
Call that flat. Well, it's not flat. It's a little.
It's a little bit
it's
lower.
a drop. Yeah. So there we go with that.
Okay.
So talking now, like seat of our pants, what's happening, right?
Right,
what's
right,
going
right,
on?
right,
and
right.
you were just saying, Eric made us stop because you guys stop talking off air.
Yeah, no, we're gonna we were talking about this. One is the uncertain market, kind of like So I actually started looking at what was happening on the West Coast because that's our feeder market, and people were actually canceling their escrows in February as things looked like it would be strange. We got the terrorists were coming on. People just were like, "Oh, I'm scared," so they pulled out. So that I think hit the April market here because when people pulled out in February, then all of a sudden it rolled down that we weren't getting those people in April, right? I do think that also with that the price of the condos coming down a little bit, we had people looking in the $1 million range for condos, and they all backed out of the market. But the people who had middle money still were doing it. And so we're actually in escrow with 2 condos right now in that middle range.
Yeah.
So people still say I'm doing this anyway, right? So what are you thinking?
And that's what I'm feeling. So I felt slow last month. I felt that there was something in the air and something going on. I'm feeling very busy right now.
Yeah.
So I got 2 offers out on properties. I have a new listing that we signed up today. Ooh, I got to talk about that new listing too.
Yeah.
So, we met the guy there for the drone photos and stuff. Anybody that wants something on the beach that you can short-term vacation rental.
Yeah.
It is literally when you open the front door, you're looking at the lifeguard tower at Magic Sands Beach.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
You do it, and there's the lifeguard tower right in front of you.
Is that a 1-1 or a 2-2?
It's a 1-1. It's small. It's 500 square feet.
That's really small.
It is 504 square feet.
Okay.
I made it 4 square feet.
So you have a
bigger.
hotel room across the street from the beach.
It's bigger than the ones next door at Magic Sands, right? So, but it's cool because the zoning on this is V1.25, so you can do anything you want there basically as far as vacation rentals. You don't have to worry about any of these laws, short-term rental laws or anything else. This is like zoning
Full-on
for
vacation rental.
hotel type thing, vacation rental, whatever you want. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. Cute update on it. It will be coming out at $585. And really good news about this, the maintenance fees, because it's a little 2-story building, walk upstairs, no pool, no nothing. You're right across from Magic Sands Beach. 44 steps.
Okay, you count them all.
44 steps to get to the white sands of Magic. So
How much the HOA?
$586 a month, and that includes electricity.
No way.
That includes plumbing. That
Hey.
includes
a
everything
deal.
except for your cable. If you're on your own on your cable.
But that's everything else.
Everything else.
Hey,
I
that's
couldn't
pretty
believe it.
good.
They got gas there.
Yeah.
And couldn't believe it.
Do they have a good rental history?
So that's even the better part. No, they don't. They got a terrible rental because they're living there.
Oh, they're living there full
The
time.
good news
Okay.
is they're getting owner-occupant tax. So it's super easy to get a permit there. It'd be easy to rent that place out where it's at. But if someone, normally I would tell somebody go get that license and move on, and let's have it because it's that easy to get. And they, but because they're getting the cheaper homeowners rate on the taxes, I told them don't do that in this case, because if somebody's going to be an owner occupant on the place, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
in
Some
your
people, if you guys are like you're out there in the world and you're thinking you might want to move here, or own a condo that you're not using as an STVR,
Right.
Something you just want to use for your family and yourself, that might be a good opportunity.
Yeah, Yeah, it's not bad. So we'll let the buyer choose what they want to do.
Yeah.
Easy to do. So it's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. He did his pitch. And also, okay, if you're also looking for a condo, we're about to take a listing. If you're looking for a 2-2 with an ocean view on Leahy, at Leahy Villas, let me know.
There you go.
Okay. So,
all right. So we're going to talk about
what are your big outliers?
How much was on sale?
Yes. What was the sale price here?
Sale price. We're looking at the final list price. I don't have. I did a different printout. Final list price to sale price is 93.67% on a residential home.
That's down from last month.
Yeah, that's down.
93%. Wow, you guys, that's a 7% sale on housing.
Yep.
It's 100% in East Hawaii, just so you guys know.
So, they're doing it at 100%?
Yeah.
Nice.
101% in some cases.
Wow.
So they're like, again, I think affordability is moving to East Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I think investors have pulled out of the market right now.
Yeah.
So, get the opportunity to get a deal, guys.
You know what's funny is I'm looking at this final list to sold price. Yeah, so 93, and then condo sales.
How much?
98.
98.
How can that be? We got 50% drop. We've got a 30% drop in price.
Yeah.
And it says final list price to sold price is 98%.
Well, we priced our 2 condos competitively. Mm-hmm. Like competitively.
Yeah.
And they're under our contract now.
Good.
So I
close
think
to asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that close to asking after I tell the sellers you better price your condo more aggressively.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's home sellers that aren't being as aggressive as condo. Because when you've got so many condos on the market, like it's happened in the last 3 months, you gotta be more clever about how you're pricing.
Yeah.
Right, to get it off the market.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more of what was going on too, where people were like, oh, you know what? Here's where the market's at. Let's meet where the market's at.
Yeah.
Where 93% meant you didn't meet where the market was at.
Yeah.
So
you know what's interesting is I did pull up to see. You guys remember we should be 135 units for sale in condos, 165 to 185 on homes. We are at 190 plus on condos, and we've been crazy like 180s now for a long time, and so we are to be at 190 now is even higher. So,
as I'm about to put another condo on the market.
Yeah. Me too. But the ones that are special and have something about them are selling.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yeah, I think it's hard when you don't have a view. You're not a really great rental. It's kind of something you picked up for not much in the back of something. Yeah. It's not the top thing people want to get right now. I think that you're right. People are still kind of looking for things that they can get really good rentals for.
If they're going to spend that kind of money, they want what they want. Yep. They know the choices are there.
Yep.
It's like when I go to the mainland, it's like, look at all these choices I got.
I know.
Let's go eat here. I'm going to eat dinner 3 times tonight.
Yeah, there's so choices.
And then I'm glad to come home. But it's like, I think that's what people are doing right now.
Yeah.
They're eating 3 different meals to pick, they're looking what they want, and they're picking the best one.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're out there and you actually are trying to sell a condo, if you do have something that is actually kind of like unique and interesting, like ocean view, like which is like right across the street from something really cool, this might be a great opportunity now to sell, because I'd like to believe that maybe the tariffs dropping and the deal with China has stabilized the market, at least mentally, a little bit.
I think so. We never get political on here, and I think
but those do change the economy.
It affects the market, and I don't anybody that has. A lot of people haven't read my article, but I wrote a blog on a tariff back in 1980s, early 80s, that changed my career, changed what was going on here, saved an American company, and opened up a ton of manufacturing jobs. And it's all there, the history's there. I mean, it's got to be done right. I'm not a fan, I wish life was normal right now.
A plan is good.
But it was good. If you look up Lance Owen's and 1983 or 1984 tariffs, you'll find it. The article I got on LinkedIn. It's a good read, and it talks about how when it works well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So hopefully, because I am feeling busier. Yeah. I do think things are changing.
Yeah, I think that when people go like this all together.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, everybody gets scared.
And it's interesting because I know that I felt a little bit of like, what's going to happen, what's not going to be on a shelf or whatever. And now it just seems
I know
like
we were laughing.
yeah, right.
What should I have bought? And I'm like, really, we're sitting okay. If you don't need anything, we're doing okay.
Yeah.
I don't think my toilet paper is made over there.
Yeah. Well, Eric bought a new computer monitor.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he figured, he's going to be that guy. So if nothing
Did
else.
it hit you? Did it feel like it was more now?
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got it. Yeah. So, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought, oh my gosh, especially here in Hawaii where we're all like this, just in case, get some more toilet paper. And someone's like, they make that in Oregon. I'm like, I know. So.
If you don't know the toilet paper story in Hawaii, I don't know why. I know it happened on the mainland during COVID, so you're probably aware of it, but it happens in Hawaii every time we have an earthquake or a tsunami warning or something else, because our ports have been wiped out before, and they don't typically fly like toilet paper in.
No, they won't.
So
it comes by
in a
barge.
And when the ports are destroyed or problems happen, or there's big storms at sea, sometimes shipments are backed up a week. And when there's a tariff or a tsunami or a hurricane or an earthquake, or something like that.
When the port of Seattle is empty, maybe that might affect longshoremen deciding to put toilet paper on a barge to Hawaii.
Exactly.
So, but that's another thing, too, that if you ever decide to live here, you do have to keep an eye on global politics, because you never know how it's going to affect you.
Okay, so what I do, I'm going to share my little secret.
Okay, what do you do?
I buy that big... I bought 2 big things of toilet paper and 2 big things of paper towels from Costco, right? One's in the house, one's in the garage. As soon as the one in the house is empty, I'm picking up another one.
Yeah, just in
Costco.
case.
So that is a good month or 2 supply of everything you need.
Yeah, because if you're running out of toilet paper after 2 months supply, we're in trouble. Everybody dealt with the toilet paper problem in 2020.
Yeah, you guys all dealt with it. So.
But no, I think it's another thing too that people should need to know too, that when you live on an island, you are dependent upon what's happening in the shipping industry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it goes. You are. So that's why get yourself a garden.
I was down in Guam when that big 8.2 earthquake hit, and it did a ton for a month. They were having to fly everything in, and I was down there doing painting. I used to paint airplanes, and
that's why it looks like that.
Yeah. So the airplane paint, we would spec it out on some of these multi-million-dollar homes. People wanted it on their wood, whatever they had in the house that they could put on. So we're doing that, but that had to be flown in. It couldn't be barged in. And when you're flying something as flammable as paint, polyurethane, it had to be packed in all these special boxes, packed with hay. The cost tripled to bring it in, and it was kind of crazy, and they had to do it. So.
Yeah. You never know. Like, remember how lumber skyrocketed?
No.
Remember? It's like you never know what's going to be the thing du jour that you didn't realize that you should be thankful for until they decided, make it scarce.
Yeah.
So,
when Hurricane Aniki hit, and there was all the things, but I was on Oahu, and it came across the tip of Oahu, and we lost power for a couple days for some reason in some areas, and we couldn't get gas. And so, I don't go below a quarter tank of gas anymore.
That'll happen to you too. And I'll tell you another thing, we're on that subject. When I first moved here, when people were like, make sure you fill your tub full of water. There's a hurricane coming. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And they're like, if the power shuts off, then the water doesn't get pumped to your house. And then you won't have any water because we're all on these water tanks, and I guess it's run by electricity. And so, have you heard this?
Well, the pumps are run by electricity, but they're gravity fed to our homes.
Yeah, so therefore, why is everyone filling up their tubs?
Well, to have that water for boiling and drinking and things like that.
In case we get cut off.
Yeah, in case you do get cut off. If there's damage to the lines, or if that tank, because
it could fall over in case of an earthquake.
They're pretty stable.
Okay.
I'm not gonna but
we're totally going off here.
Yeah. But the but if that pump shaft is damaged in an earthquake, and it's going down, or if so I don't know, if the power was out for a week, it could be problems in those tanks. You gotta remember that thing's running all night long, right? That little pump's filling up that tank all night while we're sleeping.
So you need electricity to so it pulls it up from the groundwater and fills the thing. So if you lose electricity, eventually you're going to run out of water.
Eventually you're going to run out of water, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not that day.
Not that day. But maybe the week. They tell you to be on this island, you better get your act together for 10 days. It's going to take a while for people to come and save us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Totally.
Okay, we're not talking about disaster or hurricane preparedness here. But,
Okay. What were we doing? We were going to go to absorption rate. That's where I was going to go next.
Okay. And is it the seller's or buyer's market? Because it seems like we're heading towards a buyer's market.
Let me
Here we go.
Give a brief really quick. Below 15% is a buyer's market. Above 20% is a seller's market. We saw it at 90-something% during COVID. It slowly dropped back down. It was in 20%, above 20 in the recent months. We are sitting in condos right now, 13.4% absorption rate. So it puts it at a buyer's market.
Buyer's market.
Slightly, just below 15, below the 15%. So that's why you're seeing concessions.
That's right.
And you're seeing things happening there. And then on residential homes, they're at 18.5%.
Okay. So still favoring the sellers.
Dead center of a good balanced market.
There you go. That's fair. Yeah.
I'm not dead center. 17.5.
No, 17. Yeah. But again, it's
close.
It's the
in our world, it's dead center.
Yeah, and that still means that people get a chance to walk around, see a house twice, look at 10 houses all, in the course of a week. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, totally, 100%. And then North Kona average between everything, so this includes houses, lands, condos at 17.2%.
Okay.
So overall.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you, prognostication guy. Do you think it'll drop by next month? Because we're in it now. We're 10 days, 15, 13 days into it now.
But we're super busy right now. We're relatively busy. Yeah. I mean, not COVID busy, but we're busy. We're in a busy market again. Is it just the people that didn't buy last month, or really technically the end of March, because they would have closed in April?
Yep.
So mid-March they stopped buying, or even early March, so we didn't have the closings last month. They're back buying, so it's just a temporary bump. We'll be back to where we were by June.
Okay.
It's all, I think we saw that the tariffs did affect it.
Yeah, it did. And just the, what's it called? The uncertainty in the market.
The uncertainty in the market would be a better
Also,
way.
you know what? People on the mainland, a lot of them, have the big spring market.
Right.
And that was happening in April, which kind of was down, and a little bit of May. And then they sell their houses. And then they try and get to a place after that, and that's usually around June. So I know that when we say, well, what's a high time to buy a house in Hawaii? Usually it's like January, because people are here during like the...
they're here, snowbirds.
Snowbirds, but it seems like the people who actually, want to have a life here couldn't sell their house in the first part of the year because they're probably in cold climates, and they can't get their houses on the market. Because I've been dealing with people who want to come here from Minnesota, different places where they're done. They're done with their last winter. They're done. But they had to wait until...
How many times have you heard that story? I mean, I get it. I'm not making fun of them. I mean, every year I tell the people they're just done. I've had it. I'll never pick up a snow shovel the rest of my life. It's
like this, you guys. I love this is any of you guys, and put in the comments if it is. The last show is several. That's it. I'm moving to Hawaii. I am never shoveling snow again. I'm not putting on these damn earmuffs ever again. I'm not plugging in my engine to electrical thing. But yeah, if that's you, there is homes obviously that are for sale right now, and hopefully that you've gotten your house off the market because the spring has sprung on the coast.
Didn't you guys have a late winter? Didn't the chipmunk, or what's his name? Chipmunk.
Puxatawny Phil. He said that we were going to have a late spring. So Groundhog
Day. Thank you. Groundhog.
Yeah. So
chipmunk.
Yeah. But you know what though? It's not like there's a whole door opening and everyone's trying to rush in, because that's not what's happening at all. Nope. I usually get a pretty good sense of because I get a lot of people saying, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
There's a few people who said, give me the name of your lender. I'm thinking this summer. And there's a couple people who are here like buying right now. Like Eric and I right now, we have 4 deals going on right now. So definitely something popped and said, let's now's the time. Yeah. But I'm not still seeing behind that a whole bunch of people saying, pick me, I want to buy a house in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So are you seeing like...
Not crazy.
No, it's just like...
it's picked up some, but it's not...
But it's not...
There's a lot of choices right now, so it's not a problem, for the increase in traffic. It's a hard read on this month. Is it going to be a trend, or was it just that bump? And I'm going to say it's not a trend. It was a bump, and we will see it hopefully better, because some of it from April will not trickle over into this month's sale. They might make it into June's. So we may be a little bit off This is just a forecast.
Yeah.
No idea. But it may be a little bit off or even with last year's numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
And
call.
the interest rates are going nowhere fast. So that's not.
7% this morning, somebody said?
Is what?
Back to 7%?
They said, you know what? It's funny. One of our friends said, I know my numbers. I see the interest rates actually going up a little bit with all the stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the Fed isn't actually raising the rates, but
Right.
the mortgage market is feeling a little nutty.
Yeah.
So again, with interest rates maybe going up, with lots of inventory and sellers willing to make deals, this is a good opportunity, right? So,
Yep.
here's my thing.
Did you see that one, the developer down on Leahy Drive was buying down the rates quite a bit. They announced it during Caravan a week ago Thursday, I think.
To get for those houses.
But, yeah.
What is that called?
Leahy Cottages?
Yeah, Leahy cottages on the Leahy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
and
had
those were
2 or
going
3
for like
left.
1.1.
Yeah, they weren't bad. I mean,
No.
honestly, the price that those things were at and what they delivered for a brand new place, I
Brand
thought
new
they were
house,
a good deal.
Yeah,
I really did.
and also those were on sale for like, let's say 1.1. Then the median price of a house in Condo started going to 1.3, 1.5,
Yeah.
and they were still 1.1, 1.2.
Yeah.
So
and a brand new home with like 2x6 construction, insulated. I mean, yeah, there was no yards, but that fit a lot of people's lifestyle.
no
It
yard,
was,
right next to Leahy Drive.
yeah, but they're so well insulated. And they're
Yeah.
made to run with the AC.
Yeah,
on,
the
let's
AC,
say.
yeah.
So you're
And
running
again,
that
you're
AC
living
down
in a
here.
brand new single family house within
Brand
like
new.
like walking distance
Brand
to the
new
ocean.
roads. You're literally on an oceanfront street. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And there's only the one row of houses that's on a Leahy Drive.
Right, the ones
and
in
they're
the back.
tall enough that they block the noise for the interior homes, I think.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Yeah.
So
If you're thinking about that, that's a good one. We'd like to sell you that house too. I'd like to
Yeah.
get my foot in that door. I think it's a cute little neighborhood. Actually, Erica threw a drone up over the top, and the reason we didn't include it in our quarterly update was because there's like, I don't know, let's say 15 houses that are done. Well, the rest of the neighborhood isn't completed yet.
Right.
And so it makes it kind of look weird that
Yeah.
you have this beautiful little neighborhood,
Yeah.
and in the back is still people building their houses. So, but that's just it. That you get in when that's happening before the price. By the time that whole neighborhood
anytime
gets
it
solid,
goes up the hill.
it's I think the prices are going to go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt. You can't touch a home of that quality in Kona right now for that price.
Yeah, brand new
But,
everything.
yeah. But you know, so many of the people who move here want to have the fruit trees and the
Yeah.
garden, and there's not a lot of room for that.
No.
They're tight. They're very small yards, and that fits a lot of people's lifestyle
Yeah.
because there's not a big yard to take care of.
Right. Some people don't want the landscape.
Yeah, they don't want it.
And then you know what
Rock
though too
it and-
is that they want the space of a home, but they don't want the yard work, right?
Yeah.
And that usually doesn't happen unless you're going to a condo or someplace like the Pines,
And
where
then
this
you got
is
crazy condo fees where
Yeah.
the insurance rates have shot
Yeah.
the fees up ridiculous.
And I'm sure they must have some level
Yeah,
of
they-
local HOA, but
yeah,
probably
they-
not that much. But the thing is at least you're in like Flynn with a new neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you know, all the people who are moving there are excited and everything else. So one of our realtor friends actually lives there too. So
Yeah,
she
a
enjoys
couple
it.
of realtors bought in there and lenders. So it's,
It's ideal. So when the
And these
realtors are
were
buying
the
in
same
the
people that
neighborhood,
were moving into like Kona Sea Ridge when it was new, and so you know it's some of the same names that were doing that. in
yeah,
fact.
because
I
you want to
remember.
jump into the new stuff, and that
Yeah.
way obviously you become the name of the neighborhood.
You get your 2 years in there, sell it, and then you get the tax write-off,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you did owner occupant.
Yeah.
The it's funny too. I remember back when Pualani Estates was built, and all the people that couldn't envision what it would look like in 3 or 4 years with landscaping and stuff. Nobody wanted to move. It looked like a moonscape up there. It was lava rock and homes because it was all scraped and new and
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
And I had a lot of people that said that doesn't look like a neighborhood to me. And it's like in a couple of years, everybody's stuff. It's Hawaii. I mean,
It all grows.
I poison stuff just to slow it down because it doesn't kill it. You know, it's like I won't have to cut it.
Well, now look at Pualani Estate's $1.1 million,
Yeah.
and those used to be $350,000 houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful neighborhood.
Yep.
But also, just speaking of that, I just want to tell you guys, we saw the mayor today, and he is. You know what? He is actually walking around in Kona saying what needs to be done. And one of the things he wants to do is fix that Pualani Park Estate park. You know, the blue park. Mm-hmm. And it needs help. And then now they're also making space in the back of the park. They're going to put something back there. Did you drive by that? When you drive by, look in the back.
No, I just think of the mayor trying to fix things, and I just shake my head.
No.
Sorry.
No, he was down. No, he was down with us at the
Take his car keys away from him.
He was at Kailua Beach Park, looking at that. He called it bus up. All bus up. Yeah, it's all bus up. And he realized, and you know, there's another thing
embarrassing,
too.
yeah.
I know, but get this: we like the average public doesn't sometimes understand all those complexities. The EPA won't let them replace that rotting corrugated roof because it has to be lifted up. It has to be completely sealed because it has asbestos and lead in it, and it's going to cost a lot of money to do that. And so they're like, "Oh, why should we replace the roof if we're going to move the entire pavilion up next to the highway for climate change anyway?" But he did get a chance. I saw him. I was there. He's like, "This bust up," but he said, "I'll tell you what. You guys get like a little group of people." You get a contractor, you get an architect, you get like the different people that has to go into that, put together a plan. How much is it really going to cost? What's it really going to look like? And let's look at this thing and make it happen. So that's good because that was before. They were like, "Oh, I'm like, oh, how are you guys planning on dealing with this thing? Oh, it's going to fall into the ocean." I'm like, "That's a plan." So that's good. And he's going to put those new bathrooms in an old airport.
That's good too.
Yeah. So
are they going to do new ones at Kahalua?
Not right now, no. But they're replacing the showers. They're fixing the showers today. So they got in there and they started doing a bunch of stuff because it's closed for coral spawning for the next week. So during that time frame, actually the realtors, including Eric and I, were out there stripping the paint off the railings because we're going to repaint all the railings around the park as well. So we're making things happen. And we also painted all the picnic tables at the pavilions too, because we wanted to stretch our tax dollars. No, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got about 14 people out there. We painted all the...
At Kahalua Beach?
No, at Old Airport.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because somebody actually had already painted the picnic benches at Kailua. So we said, what else can we do? And they said, you want to do the railings?
Oh, nice.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to another realtor today.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, they were grumbling.
Yeah, it's hard.
I used to paint airplanes for a living, so I know.
Yeah,
it's
the smell of paint thinner.
It had to be stripper though, right? Paint stripper.
The paint stripper.
Yeah, because that's what the other realtor kept saying, paint thinner, and I'm like, no.
Because most of us don't have paint strippers in our lives, but also the one-way street experience. Just if you guys are watching this, Mayor said. We're going to talk. He went down to meet with the business owners today on Lee Drive to say, is it good or bad? And then because I am part of the fixed paid parking committee, he asked me.
Are we going to do the $100 and it won't make it to 30 days?
Okay, get this. Okay, so I don't know because he said.
He won't take,
watch this.
Take my back.
Because get this. We're going to talk on Friday. And if he did not get a good feeling from the business owners today, and he can't get the wait time on Hawaii down to 15 minutes.
It won't happen.
Okay. Well, he was talking about we're talking about this. He was thinking about maybe even turning Hawaii into 2 egresses out onto Kuakini. So instead of having 1, you get 2, and it gets more people out of that bridge.
So where though?
That's why I said July to Kuakini.
Yeah.
So he might actually announce next Monday that we're done with this idea.
I'm very passionate about it because it happened in the 1970s. It failed horribly. It happened when I first moved. I moved here in 2000 to the Big Island. It happened in 2004. I couldn't even go to lunch anymore because I couldn't get out and back in the hour that it took that I was given for lunch. I used to be service manager at a car dealership. I couldn't get in and out. We couldn't test drive our clients' cars anymore. We just had to run them there on a lift or something. It was just horrible. You couldn't. A technician to go around the block would take them an hour to get back around the block. It was terrible. I told the mayor this before this happened.
Yes, he did.
I told him how I couldn't go to lunch. I told him how I'd be backed up. I told him how in 2013 the building department, who he was the engineer for the planning or building department, he specialized statewide in traffic issues, and he happened to be our guy in charge on the Big Island there. He said you should never ever try this.
Did you say that to him? I don't think you did. You really make that point?
Yeah,
because that would have been a good thing to say.
And I asked him to go look. I said you have access to this report. It was done in 2013. Yeah. I don't have access to that report. You have access to it. I said you need to go read that before you do this. And he looked at me, and I could see the planner's eyes that were behind him kind of all, like nobody took the time to look at what happened in the previous 3 attempts.
Well, you know what, because he really wanted to do something to show that he was doing something. Yeah, and now we know.
That's not.
So, but I'll tell you guys, the people who watch this,
if you've
gotten to this point in the show, this is a little inside Scooby. Lance did come down to the Holly Hollaby, and he got up on the microphone and expressed his concern, and he had all the numbers, and so we talked after the event was over, and I'm like, oh, Lance, I totally support you on this one. I called the mayor's assistant, and I said, hey, I think you should pull back on this one. I think that, you know what, this is not going to go well, and I think that if you just give us a chance to get this ordinance done, you're going to have a better experience. And he basically said it was already happening. They were already
you can
in
still
the middle
stop.
of it.
You can be a leader, and you can say, stop this. This is crazy. We didn't have all this knowledge that we have today. Let's stop, because now, when this ends in a week, it's going. Now they're going to have to restripe all the streets. They're going to have to, because of the stripes, a lot of it you have to cover over it with tar again if you're restriping it, because the lines will be off. They got to take down all the signage that they did. They're going to reprogram all the traffic signals. It's cost. I mean, I wonder how many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars this little experiment that never should have been.
I think it was hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but it was money, and that's why I told them, I go, please don't spend this money. We could spend it on something else, like a new roof on Kailua Beach Park. But they wanted to give it a shot. So, but the good news is, okay, this is a good part, that because the traffic was so bad, literally, you guys, I did a video, I put it on my Instagram account. About just driving downtown. Not a lot of commentary, just driving downtown through that space. 250,000 people watched that video.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Right? That's crazy.
I wonder how many eggs and tomatoes were thrown at the TV screen.
Right. Okay. But it brought so many eyeballs to the parking problem, which caused the traffic problem that I have been working on. So good news is we finished the ordinance, and it's in the county's hands.
Good.
And
Good
it's
job.
going to be looked at by the county lawyer, and it's fair and even. And get this, you guys, you don't even know this. The guy that runs Parklink.
Breaking news. Hold on.
Breaking news. Guy who owns Parklink was getting so vilified by this whole traffic disaster. He actually met with a councilwoman and the mayor yesterday, day before yesterday. And he said, okay. I'll make this better for the locals. I'm going to give them 2 hours of free parking and $2 after that for like a $15 minimum or something. And so I'm not sure. Yeah, the maximum. Yeah. So I don't know exactly when this goes into effect, but because the whole thing is electronic and they don't have to change any signs, he could make it effective immediately.
Yeah, he could have went home and made it.
Yeah. So it could actually, and then we'll put it out if this is the case. At least you get 2 hours for free, and you only have to pay $2 for an hour after that. And so that way, at least it's fair, but it's for locals only. And so that way, at least we can get maybe some local people to back downtown and stuff. But it's an evolving experience. The ordinances that we have created, just I think we're just asking for one more extra hour so people can actually like shop downtown.
Yeah, I mean you're literally rushing out the door where I might have relaxed and had another beer or something. You know,
right. If you have 3 hours. So I think that
even at full 2 hours, because you're an hour and a half right now, right?
Yeah.
And you get that text message that your time's up, and it's like.
Gotta go.
This beer is going to cost me $5, and now it's going to cost me 10 more or whatever. I don't even know what it was because I just left. I got packed up and left.
Right, that's what we're saying. Yeah. So 2 hours gives you a little bit more time, but the 3 hours definitely says have some dinner, go get some ice cream, and then shop downtown.
Yeah, spend some money and walk around. It was interesting. I saw one of they interviewed one of the new businesses down on Leahy Drive, and he said his walk-in traffic was 80 to 100 people a day. Prior to this parking change, and it's now 20 to 30 people a day. So he goes, nobody, because it takes you 20 minutes to just get down to Leahy Drive. You can't even do a loop. Your loop will take you an hour to get around to look for a parking spot again that might not be there, and people are just done.
Well, if he talked to the mayor today, and the mayor hears that, then we'll know what's going to happen. So you guys hear here first that we might not be doing the one-way very much longer, and hopefully that we'll also have cheaper parking, and we're going to, just fight the good fight to give you guys more opportunities to come downtown. Yeah. So, so no one's getting hurt. Yeah. People are saying, okay, let's make this all work for everybody. Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. You guys have been watching us play this game for 5 months now. Yeah. Is there anything else? Anybody like even
anybody else?
Is there anybody on the live feed that wants to say anything?
We don't have that as much anymore. They're just chilling.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're just
They're
chilling.
there.
They're there.
Got 8
Okay.
people there right now, so we're doing all right.
Okay, so if anybody over in the live department wants to say anything, please do. Okay,
I think
so
it's interesting too. A lot of people don't realize that kind of the market that watches us. You know, it's not like you're in a big city doing something. We're in a small town that has only so many people coming in to learn or wanting to move here. You know, so it's a small. So when we talk about smaller numbers, it's actually very huge. You know, you might see some of these people talking about, oh, I got 1 million followers,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, you're not going to get that in Kailua-Kona. I think we're doing a good
Yeah.
job. What do you do for a living?
I sell real estate. And what do you do?
I sell real estate.
So if you are looking to buy or sell or invest, Lance and I can help you. And also, good news for us is that we've also increased our team by 2 people in the last month.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
I see you
thank
guys
you.
bringing on some good
Yeah,
people.
we got some new people.
So,
And,
very
you know,
cool.
We actually, Lance and I had talked about creating a brokerage about 5 years ago. And he's like, I don't think you know how hard it is to do that. And I'm like, oh, come on, let's do it anyway. But now I realize how hard it is to do that.
Yeah.
So doing the team experience is better than creating an entire experience with a brokerage and having to get financing and everything else. So,
Yeah. So we got a hand raised.
Yeah, Catherine says, I'm from Michigan and I enjoy watching you two discuss this. I've never been to the Big Island.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you for watching.
thank you. Do you freeze during the winter time too? We should
Yeah,
put down your
I
shovel and move to Hawaii.
We're taking snow shovel trade-ins right now.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and also there's people who are also on this group that some of these people they're just watching us for a few years until they finally get it
Yeah.
together.
Kevin Peterson is watching too. And so
Except
is
Kevin that's working
Yeah.
with Lance.
Let's see, I'll give you a couple other ones here.
Okay.
So
Kevin
is
and Beth.
We're gonna
Dave
call
is
you guys
watching
out.
us as well.
Wait, okay, who?
Dave Bucknell is watching.
Okay, Dave. He's gonna buy a condo over here in West Hawaii.
There we go. Those are the ones that are showing. There's more people there than are showing. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. So give you guys.
We love you
a
guys.
little,
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much for
yeah.
watching us live, especially when we just do a random. Let's just because Lance has been
We
very
never say
busy,
that, yeah.
and so we didn't get a chance to tell you guys this was
Yeah.
happening today. So thanks for jumping on.
And
So.
Catherine says she wishes it was cold because it's tick season right now.
Oh. We don't have
yeah.
tick season.
Yeah.
We got koki season. It's been raining every night lately.
Oh, so they come down the hill?
Yeah.
Because it's all
I mean,
wet?
they're like, you can hear them. And
Yeah.
now Eric has to go out there with the citric acid a little bit more aggressively and get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are coming down the hill. But you know what,
think-
though? Everything's green.
You
So-
know, some chickens have kind of moved into our lot and into around our house now. We got about, at any time I can see anywhere from 7 to 12 chickens, including 2 roosters, on our property, and they're eating the bugs, and I think they're eating the frogs. The frogs seem to be quieter around my house, even though that they sleep during the day. They still. I've noticed a noticeable coqui frog
Decline.
drop. Yeah,
Hey.
they're not gone, but that's a plus.
Get
so
yourself some chickens.
Get yourself some chicken.
But not
And
the
they're
roosters.
Cute. Yeah, these are
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
cute. Yeah, the roosters love.
Well, this is always fun to do with you.
Yeah.
The older we get, the more we appreciate this whole experience because we're the only, between. I've got Nui now, and now Amber's doing her thing. But you and I, we've been doing this thing for many years.
Yeah,
And I
long
think
time,
that we've
yeah.
created something kind of cool for our viewers.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys are watching out here in YouTube land and also Facebook land. Again, Lance with LUVA, and you can get a hold of him, Julie and Eric. 365, and we will come back to you guys sooner in the month than we did in May,
Yeah.
hopefully in June. So maybe like the first week in June if we can.
I'm in DC. I will be in DC advocating for property rights. We are trying to push our legislators to double the tax write-off. It's $250 a person or $500 a couple. That was based off of home prices in
From,
the year mid-90s.
Oh.
So we're trying to get that doubled.
Oh.
And we're doing a couple of things to try to get more homes on the market is what it's about. So
Yeah.
I will be there till the 6th. I will be meeting with our state legislators and at the nation's capital. So
There you go.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
So, but the second week again, we won't make it this late though.
Yeah, because we're leaving on June 13th to Banff.
Okay, so I come back to 6th, you the 13th, so let's
Yeah, I
shoot
guess
for
somewhere in
like
the middle
8th or
there.
9th, somewhere in there. You guys watch for us. Thank you, everybody. So many of you guys have purchased through us already. Thank you for coming around. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So
Yep, it's true.
appreciate you.
Okay.
All right.
With that, we say
Aloha.
aloha.